All right, welcome back to part 4 of the Commitment Bonanza weekend. We have another offensive lineman to discuss. This is the 6th offensive lineman of the class of 2026. This is Logan Anthony. He is from Palmerton Area High School in Palmerton, PA, which is out near Jim Thorpe. He is listed at 6'4", 315 pounds, and he's going to play on the interior offensive line for the Scarlet Knights. Rich, how did this commitment come together? I know we were in there was a hotly contested battle between Rutgers and West Virginia. West Virginia begging Logan not to take that visit, but he did anyway and ended up committing. How did Rutgers end up with Logan Anthony?
Yeah, so I mean, he's been to campus quite a few times actually. He was on campus not this past April, but April 2024. He was on campus for a game day visit back in October 19th. I don't even remember what game that was, to be honest with you. But UCLA, Wisconsin.
Yeah, UCLA. Yeah,
UCLA. See, I do know what game. That was pretty close. Anyway, he's been to campus quite a few times. Staff knew pretty well about him. He ended up reshaping his body a little bit, added a little bit more muscle. His tape is like phenomenal to watch. But yeah, no, I mean, they just offered back in April, and he's always known the coaching staff. He's known them for quite some time now, and just kind of that was pretty much it. Once he got the offer, it was always going to be Rutgers. I mean, like you mentioned, another coaching staff, West Virginia specifically, was basically saying like, just please don't commit while on the Rutgers visit. Like, just visit us first, and we think you'll like it out here. And didn't happen. So it's kind of funny, but the West Virginia coaching staff was the top other suitor for him. Virginia Tech also offered. I think it was Syracuse offered. There's a bunch of other random schools, G5s, and lower than that too. But he's an interesting kid. Like, he doesn't play the best competition in the world, but he dominates that competition. And that's what you want to see out of a Power 5 school or Power 4 kid. Sorry. You don't want to see someone that's just out there just lollygagging, just doing whatever. You want to see a guy that's literally tenfold above the rest of the players on the field. And that's basically what he was. I think the staff evaluated him pretty quickly. I know they want him as an interior offensive lineman, but that's where it gets a little bit interesting because Charlie Noonan did go visit him too, along with Pat Flaherty. Charlie Noonan, as we know, is a new defensive tackles coach. And honestly, he's not really that bad of a defensive lineman. I think he's actually might be a better defensive lineman in high school than an offensive lineman. I don't want to say that out loud because Pat Flaherty might be like, well, hey, I'm going to mold this kid into something, so relax.
Maybe say it more so Pat Flaherty has an even more incentive to prove you wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I might have to say it more. But I think he's so athletic. It's freaky for a 6'4", 315-pounder. Like, he does track and field. He does basketball. He does football. He does all the sports that you want him to do as a lineman. He's super athletic. I just can't say that enough because you watch his tape and this man's going like sideline to sideline, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, he's a 6'4", 315-pound lineman going sideline to sideline, running down like wide receivers, running down running backs, running down the quarterback, and it's just like they see the fear in their eyes just watching this man come after them. It's like, Jesus, what is going on? But I actually think he's a sneaky good get. I think he's a guy that's probably gonna have to develop a little bit because I do think he's better, more developed on the defensive side than the offensive side right now. But I think as long as, again, Pat Flaherty, we've said this before, 40-year coaching veteran, 2-time Super Bowl champ, let him get his hands on him, let him see what he could do. I think the sky's the limit for this kid just because of athleticism alone.
Yeah, Alec, I know that you were just kind of like just dying laughing watching some of his tape. What did you see in his tape that really kind of blew you away?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it because I don't want to crap on too many of these like high school football players because he, again, like Richie said, it's not the best competition, but I do highly recommend watching his highlight tape. It's a lot of fun because he's just a complete game wrecker. And like Richie said, it's good to see that he's dominating this competition that may not be the best in of all time, rather than just kind of being out there, not just from like a pure talent standpoint that he's more talented than a lot of these kids in the area, but that he is really like, instead of just, he knows that he's the best guy out there, so he can kind of just coast to the finish line and like just kind of, he can look good, but like, it's whatever. He's not going all out, but this guy's going all out. He is really a game wrecker. I think I saw a quarterback's life flash before his eyes on the 720p huddle footage that we saw. Yeah, it's really interesting to see which side he kind of goes on, whether it's offense or defense. He has really good footwork. He plays tackle like a lot of these guys do that may go on the interior. He plays tackle for his team because he's one of the bigger guys, and he really looked impressive. He's another guy that looks strong, disengaging and moving on to his next assignment in the second level. He just moves really well for his size. He's a great athlete. Yeah, like Richie said, this may be a little bit more of a developmental piece, but I mean, I feel like we're saying this time and time again. You can never have too much developmental guys, especially on the offensive line, even at just his depth. And maybe we'll see if he can grow into a really strong guard as well. So, yeah, it's a really strong pickup. Yeah, it's. I'm curious to see how this one pans out in particular because whether it's on the offense or the defense, and given the competition level that he's going against isn't as high as some other areas that Rutgers is going after. So they really do see something in him. But the fact that he's dominating this competition really is a good sign from a physical and a mental standpoint, like I said before. So it's a pretty solid addition, and just another offensive lineman. And yeah, so I guess that's mostly what I got. But yeah, pretty solid addition.
And this puts us at 6 offensive linemen for the class of 2026. I know that the staff has a lot of targets that are pretty highly ranked. Rich, are they done at offensive line, or do you think there's potentially space for any others?
I think they'll take at least one more, if not two more, depending on who the people are. Now, that being said, we know Kai Pritchard was on campus. We know he's been a long time. I guess you could call him Rutgers lean because we do have a future casting for him. But I'm actually contemplating switching that future cast because I just don't know. I think it's more of like, hey, it's either a commit or I'm sorry, it should be, the analogy is shit or get off the pot. So sorry to emphasize that one. But yeah, I mean, it's more of a case where it's kind of like you have to pick either now or never. You have to understand that there's 6 linemen committed. They have linemen coming in next weekend. They have linemen coming in the weekend after that. So you're kind of running out of space now where you have to make a decision either now or never. And if you don't, I think they're okay with kind of just moving on. Now, him specifically, that's a little bit of a different case versus like, I don't even know who else is coming in. Like Darren Parks, if Darren Parks committed, that could be it. Like he was on campus this weekend and he wasn't supposed to be originally. So that's a big one. I know they're supposed to get Dwan Davis, who's another massive 6'8", 6'7" dude from Florida. Marlon Bright's technically supposed to visit campus in a couple weeks. I don't know if that one's going to happen personally, but they do have a couple other linemen I forget the names of. But yeah, I mean, I think they'll still take at least one more, if not 2 more, depending on who the person is. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I was thinking specifically of Kai Pritchard because he was seemingly like the top target on the board for a long time. Obviously, he's down to Rutgers and Boston College. Seemingly, Rutgers had a surprise 4-star visitor over the weekend in what's his name? Ron Parks,
Darren Parks.
Yeah. So that they're clearly drawing a ton of interest from offensive linemen. I just kind of wanted to get the pulse check on where things stood there.
Jesse Moody, too, is coming to campus next weekend. And you can argue that Jesse Moody might actually be a Rutgers lean at the moment. So it's going to be one to watch, too. So, I mean, if Jesse Moody's coming to campus, you have already, 6? That could be it. It might be honestly down to Jesse Moody or Kai Pritchard. Now, Marlon Bright, again, name they would love to get. Sounds like he's going to end up at Penn State, though. So either way, I mean, you got to kind of pick now or never, and that's why it's so important for this to get that first official visit and not that last official visit. There's colleges have so much of an advantage now because it's like, even if we don't get you, we don't need you. We can go to the portal and find someone like, hey, Mashoud Giwa, like D2 or FCS, whatever. Go get that guy. He has 3 years left, and he's already played college ball. Like he's ready to go.
And I think we saw their focus this weekend and really shoring up the trenches and getting that done in this first official weekend. Because I mean, you mentioned guys that are visiting in the future, but they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had 6 visitors on the offensive line this weekend, and after that, next weekend it's 3. Although Jared Smith is already committed, so. Don't have to worry about him, whether he commits or not. But then on another 2 the following weekends, they really wanted to stack it up now and get all those commits in now on the offensive line. It showed, and they got most of them. So we see where their priorities lie. They wanted to lock up this offensive line class quickly, and they've done a very good job in doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very impressive class for the Scarlet Knights. We're going to switch over to the other side of the ball for the next commitment. This was Adam Shaw, the Jersey linebacker, but you'll get that in your next podcast. We will see you on the other side of the podcast feed with the Adam Shaw commitment.